This is Scott from the Southview Farm. Still having a little trouble with carburetor on the John Deere 1020. It's a gasoline model. And I thought it was not getting enough fuel, and I was wrong about that. It's getting too much fuel and it's flooding out. I got to thinking about this. I had, in previous videos, I adjusted the carburetor float to try to get more fuel to it. And I had bought rebuild kits. They always seem to be the wrong rebuild kits, or come with the wrong parts. Just very aggravating. These Marvel Schebler, I think is how you pronounce it, carburetors are very simple, but they have this one here has given me headaches. So I got to thinking, and this carburetor, here's the wire, originally had a solenoid. I think John Deere calls this the power valve or power jet or something like that. I call it a main jet. But it originally had a solenoid here, like on riding lawnmowers and stuff, that shut off the gas. And this is your wire that went down to it. And I had actually, a few years ago, this had actually came unthreaded, and I lost it while I was bush hogging. And I couldn't figure out, let me back up. Evidently, a previous owner, the solenoid had gone out of this. And John Deere wants an ungodly amount for this solenoid. So they put a regular jet, main jet in here off of a different carburetor. And it worked okay. Well, it came unthreaded, and I lost this bottom piece. All the gas leaked out of it. I noticed this was missing, and I had to figure out which one they used. Well, evidently I figured it was the wrong one. I got on the Google and Googled around there, and somebody told me that I read that this jet needle and stuff, one would fit off of a 2020, John Deere 2020. So I bought that, I put it on there, and it runs, but I believe I've always had trouble with it since I've done that. And I got tired of fooling with it. I got on the flea bay, and I bought a remanufactured carburetor. Same thing, it's not Chinese or nothing, it's just a rebuilt carburetor. Bought it off a guy from California. I hope the boys are mowing grass. I hope that it's not interfering with the video, the lawnmower. But it really nice looking job. Here's the plug-in for the solenoid main jet, or whatever they call it. And we're probably going to have to do an adjustment. They said this was tested on a running tractor, but we'll find out. I'll probably have to do some adjustments. There's a idle jet here that you have to adjust, and then there's your, John Deere calls it power jet or something like that down here. So we're going to pull this carburetor off, replace it with that one, and see if it runs. Before I ordered this, I did test to make sure that this had voltage on it when you turn the key on, so it opened that solenoid, and it does. So let's get started and remove this carburetor. The first thing I do is I crack the fuel line. It's 5/8. There's going to be some fuel come out of there. I've taken this carburetor off I don't know how many times. And we've got these boots for the air intake boot. And these are 9/16, these bolts up here that connect it to the intake manifold. Just got to spin those off. Then you have this throttle. Need to get some more hands here. There it is. And I lost my clip. Let me set that down. You got this clip here. It used to not fall off, but it does now. And I dropped it again. But you want to make sure you hang on to that. Alright. This is a 1/4 inch. To get this choke cable off here, it's a 1/4 inch bolt. Couldn't find my 1/4 inch wrench. I used it the other day, and hope I can get it with this thing. There it goes. Should be able to slide that out there. All right. Now, this this new carburetor didn't come with this piece here, so I'm going to have to take it off. And they call this a high idle valve, or a cam, and it looks like it's about worn out. It's plastic, so let me grab some needle nose and I'll take that off. I'll take this little snap ring off here, if I can get to it and don't lose it. Well, let's take this off first. I lost the little pin that runs through this. I just used a staple. There's that. That'll come out of there, and then I just gotta get this little here it comes. Got losing it in the gravel. And this should slide off. Or should. And it's not going to. There it goes. Alright. So that carburetor's off. Let's grab our new carburetor. Newer. Let's put our piece that we just took back off on it. Should slide right on there. He's got some fresh paint on it. Let's put our little clip, E-clip, or whatever you call them on here. We can get that out of the way. I'll do this in front of the camera. There we go. I think it's on there. Alright. I'm just going to stick this piece of wire in here. And just bend it down to where it doesn't come out. I like that. That's all I did. Then we have this the choke cable holder thing. We've got the, you want to make sure you got your choke pushed all the way, the lever pushed all the way in, so your choke would be fully open. It would not giving no choke at all. So you want it to look like that. And then I'll just slide this through and line it up here with the, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to loosen this screw up. And probably got too big a screwdriver, of course. So we just want to slide that in there, line it up with this other hole. And it's not, I think I need that screw out a little bit farther. If I can get it. The screwdriver's not exactly the right size. Alright, now there shouldn't be any reason. Make sure our choke lever is pushed all the way in. We should be able just to, there we go. Make sure it chokes all the way out. So you feed this back a little bit. Now we can tighten this up. Tighten that up. And tighten this up. Get in here. Oh, I guess screwdriver about too big. But that should be alright for right now. We can tighten that up later. And then you have this throttle right here. I'm going to take this out. Gasket's on the other one. I want to make sure my gasket was off there. I'm going to take these out. Set those down for a minute. You've got this lever here off of your governor. You got to slide that. Let's see here. I think you put this clip on this side here. And then you slide Didn't get it. There it is. Slide that up on there. You put this lock on here. That's on. Alright. Now we just have to bolt this up here. Let's get our, that doesn't fall out there, get our gasket. That carburetor's about ready to fall out. Put our gasket on here. Okay, now get these started. Yep, they're not starting. Let's set that down for a minute. Let's get these going through this gasket. Thread them through that gasket. Alright, now let's see if we can start it up in here. It's prettier than the other carburetor. Oh, my foot's going to sleep. Alright. All right, let's hook up the intake tube, tighten it up. Like I said, this was supposed to be tested on a running tractor. That doesn't mean that I won't have to make some adjustments on it, but it shouldn't be, I wouldn't think it should be, once we hook up gas and stuff, it shouldn't be leaking or anything like that. Alright, now we got our fuel line hookup. It's been bent and hard to get started on there. I have to turn this up just a hair bit. See what that does. There it is. This fuel line's been taken off and on so many times. I got a feeling that's gonna leak. It's kind of loose, but we'll find out. Let's pull this old terminal out of there. We don't need that. We should be able to hook up our factory original terminal right to that. And now we should be able to tell if this thing runs or not. Let's check it out. Let's see what it does. Idle screw that where that cam, that plastic thing came on, it's too far out. We'll have to find a smaller screwdriver. Well, the tractor sounds a whole lot better than it did. There's no gas, fuel leaking or anything like that. Had to adjust that one. I guess it's the idle screw that just kind of holds that butterfly valve in there off that little shaft that we slid that little plastic cam on there. He didn't have that when I received it. He didn't have that cam on it and stuff. I had to pull it off the other carburetor, so it's understandable. They've had it adjusted out farther. I'm not even sure if that's needed. It was on the original carburetor, so we put it back on. It was that thing with the rod and the little plastic. I think they could call it a idle cam or something like that. But it seems like it's running a whole lot better. I'm going to take it up here on the hill. That's the real test. Is when it was flooding out. It might be fine on level ground, but once you got it on any type of incline or decline, it would start cutting out tractor equip. And that's how I figured out that it was flooding out, was because you'd loosen this up and this would just be full of fuel. And it was using like I don't know, I ran it for 2 hours and it ran through like probably 5 gallons of gas in 2 hours. And it was using a lot of fuel. But I'm Scott. Thank you for visiting Southview Farm. please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Subscribing always helps out the channel. We're shooting for our 100 subscriber mark. I think we're at 97 subscribers right now. I'd like to get pushed over that next goal. But thank you, and if you like these kind of videos, come on back. We'll see you next time at the Southview Farm. Thank you.